All right, I'm recording. This is for our BSPU call. So I'm going to talk today about the three things that you must have in place to massively scale your business and do some amazing things with your book. I'm going to start the Facebook Live. I'll introduce it at that point. At the end, as always, I'll shut those guys off, and I'm going to open it up to any questions that you guys have. Hi, George. How are you? Mindstorm is George. Awesome. All right, starting live video. Trying to reconnect. I love it. As soon as it goes live, they're automatically trying to reconnect. That's great. Come on, Facebook. Hopefully I can get this going. And if not, I'll just share it with you guys. Let me give it just a second to see if it can reconnect for me. And then we'll roll. Hey, Deborah, how are you? Good to see you. Well, not see you. All right. Give it a second. She's coming. Got my stuff up here. You can see that all right. Good. All right. Looks like we're rolling. So, hey, Rob Kosberg here with Bestseller Publishing. How would you like to massively scale your impact and your income at the same time? And I mean massively. I mean in a way that with time, you can create the kind of impact that you see the top thought leaders and celebrities make in their space. You need three things to do that. And of course, I'm doing this on Facebook Live. I also have my BSPU call, but you need three things, three absolute must-have things that you have to have in place. And with time, I mean, you'll rocket things quickly, but in time, you can hit the kind of thought leader and celebrity status that very, very few people do. So let me tell you a brief story. So in 1992, Dave Ramsey, who most of us know who Dave Ramsey is, Financial Peace University. Dave Ramsey was just coming off of a massive failure and bankruptcy. And in 1992, we had just gone through the S&L banking crisis, so it wasn't as bad as what happened in 2008, but in the early 1990s, there were some bad things happen, real estate dropped in value, et cetera, and Dave was a real estate investor. So around that period of time, there were other bankruptcies and things happening, but Dave wrote his very, very first book, which he was going around and selling out of the trunk of his car. So his first book that he'd written had really not very little success. He was selling his book out of the trunk of his car from kind of place to place. So he got an opportunity to do an interview on a radio station. This is in Nashville, Tennessee. The radio interview went well, and what Dave found out after the interview is that radio station was also in bankruptcy and in receivership, and they were having to lay off a number of people, especially the higher-priced disc jockeys. So what Dave said is, hey, look, I'd like to take an hour and do a show which would later become the Dave Ramsey Show, now 25 years later, still running and syndicated to almost 600 radio stations around the country. He said, I'd like to do a show, a daily show that we do, for an hour a day, not just on finance, but he had a couple of other partners or people that were on the show. And we can take one of these time slots that was normally held by one of the DJs that you're going to be letting go. They didn't have many options. In fact, they had zero options. So they gave the opportunity to Dave. Within about 4 months, one of his two partners dropped out, and then eventually the second partner dropped out. But Dave's show started experiencing some modest success. In fact, in his own words, Dave has said many times he did not expect that show would do well, but it did. And the success started modestly. After that, little by little, the success of his show grew, to the point where now the economy was doing better and more people were interested in financial peace. So they were buying Dave's products, services, and of course, Dave's book. The show became successful and started to get syndicated nationwide. Here we are 25 years later, and Dave continues to do this exact same show and really follow the exact same model that he followed in 1992, right after his bankruptcy and the bankruptcy of the radio station that gave him his first opportunity and shot. And what is that model? That model is selling his products and courses. He now has expanded into some other things like live events and coaching, etc. Plus, he's now doing a leadership thing, kind of a business coaching thing. But for the most part, his bread and butter is using his platform, which is radio, to drive leads and opportunities to sell his products and services, which are lower price, like books, courses, etc. That is how he became known, and that is how he became a multimillionaire many, many, many times over. There are three things within this story that you need to be aware of, because anybody that has experienced success has the exact same, whether or not on that level, I don't know, but for myself, the exact same pieces in place to experience that success. What are they? Now, I don't know if this is turned around backwards for you, but here's what they are. That's having a great proposal, having a great platform, and having a great process in place to make an impact and an income with your knowledge. Now, if you don't have a process, what's going to happen is you're not going to make any sales. And if you don't have a great proposal or offer, well, that means you're not going to attract the right clients. And if you don't have a great platform in place to put you in front of people, then you're not going to get any leads. You need all three of these things. So you can look at your business right now and say, well, I'm not getting any leads, but I have a really good offer or proposal. What's the problem? Well, you're not on the right platforms. You're not in front of the right people to make the kind of impact that you need to. So let's look at this model from Dave's perspective for just a second. Then I'll share the BSP perspective, and then you can think about what this perspective means for you and for your business. So what is a great proposal? Well, Dave's proposal was simple. In the beginning, he was just selling his book. He didn't even have a course. He eventually moved into courses that would sell from anywhere from $27 up to $297 eventually. These were DVDs, these were CDs, and of course, eventually they became online courses. Now, besides that, he also had products that he would sell for people that were creating a budget or people that were trying to track their finances. But his proposal is all around selling these lower ticket products so that people can get their budget right. Now, what's his platform? His platform's simple. It started out with one radio interview that ended up becoming his radio show. And here now, 25 years later, he is still doing the same exact show, which is now called The Dave Ramsey Show, to millions of people every single day. He does it every single day, like clockwork, determination, persistence. But it's built an amazing platform for Dave. Amazing. And then what's his process? Well, his process now is really simple. You're going to go to his website. You're going to go to Amazon and buy his book. His website sells his products, sells his courses, sells his coaching, etc. It's very, very simple. Now, look, ours is different. I wrote down ours at the very top. Our proposal is not lower end and low ticket products. We are a done for you and a done with you service. And our prices can range from as low as $1,000 all the way up to $30,000 and more. So our proposal is to help authors or would-be authors to publish, promote, and profit with their best-selling book, and to go from just idea to published best-selling book and then using that to make money. What is our platform? Well, my platform is social media. So I'm doing a Facebook Live right now, but for the most part, I do paid advertising on social media. In fact, I haven't created a lot of content. We have hundreds of thousands of followers on Facebook through groups and through my personal and business profiles as well as Twitter. Hundreds of thousands. And I haven't really created content to draw those followers in. On the contrary, what I've used paid advertising to draw those clients in or potential clients. But that's changing for us. I am actually going all in on creating content, a podcast, a video show, repurposing what I teach into a blog, etc. Why? Because the content itself, just like Dave's content on the radio that's put out there for free, will help to grow our platform significantly. So I'm just giving you some insight into what direction we're going. We're still going to do paid advertising, and you can make paid advertising work for you, but those are two different platforms, right? You have a paid advertising platform, and you have creating content for podcasts, social media, etc. And then what is our process? Our process is simple. people fill an application out and they get on the telephone with one of our author development coaches. We see if it's a fit. We tell them what the investment will be. We'll tell them what the next steps are. And many people decide to move forward with us to the point of millions of dollars a year in new clients and helping clients to be successful. It's not complicated, right? In fact, in a lot of ways, this is simple, but that doesn't make it easy, right? What Dave has done in the last 25 years is not easy, but it is simple, and anybody can do it. He has stuck with it over that period of time. So do you want to make this kind of impact on the world? Well, guess what? The time to start was 25 years ago, okay? With getting your book done, with getting on the radio, with building out, your social media infrastructure 10 years ago, et cetera. That's the best time to start. The second best time to start, right now. Right now. Right now with your podcast. Right now with completing your book and making it a bestseller. Right now with using that book to get speaking engagements. And not just you do a couple of speaking engagements and it ends. If that is your platform, if your platform is to be on stage, then guess when it ends? When you retire or when you decide to move in a different direction, right? The same with Dave's radio show. 25 years, nonstop, the same exact thing. He's making a huge impact, and you can too. But you need that platform in place, right? Great proposal. That proposal is given to an amazing platform, and then you have a process to turn the interested people into potential clients. These are the three things that you've got to have to be massively successful in your business. Now, if you just want a little success, then sure, word of mouth, referrals, every now and then handing your book out, you'll get a new client here or there. Absolutely. But if you want Dave Ramsey-like success, if you want to write seven-figure checks or see seven-figure checks coming in every year into your business, then guess what? You need a great proposal, you need a massive platform, and you need a process that is tight to convert people and bring them into your world. I hope this is helpful to you. Those are the three things that you must have. Go ahead and comment below. Share if you think this has been helpful, but comment below. I want to hear your comments. I always respond. If you have any questions, go ahead and type those in too. Great being with you today. Thanks for the time. Awesome, guys. All right, I'm back with you. I'm going to go ahead and post this. Looks like we got a lot of good feedback and comments and shares, which is very cool. That's exactly what I want. So, Joanna says, I want Ramsey success. I love that. Then you got to do the things that Ramsey did, right? It started small. You can't get discouraged when it starts small, but you have to stick with it and you have to build on it. So I made mention during the podcast of what we're going all in on. And in fact, Kim, I'm going to be talking, for example, I know I gave you a private invitation to our upcoming event. Any of you that are Kevin Harrington clients, you're going to come to our event. This is a lot of what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about building your platform, this process right here, because this is where all the magic is. Now, obviously, you need a great proposal. So you need to know who you serve and what you're going to offer those people. So we have to nail that down. But beyond that, and we have that nailed down at BSP, so what do we have to do? We now have to up the game when it comes to our platform. And that's what I'm doing. Honestly, I've been lazy. I had my own live radio show for years. I did 4 hours of live radio a week, not near the Dave Ramsey kind of impact, tiny impact, but still millions of dollars in income, which I'm thankful for. But I got lazy and I said, I don't want to do a podcast. I've put it off. I'm not putting it off anymore. That is my primary role in this company, is to advance the company on new platforms, get in front of new people that we could potentially help and serve and make an impact on. So going all in on podcasting, video show, as well as repurposing that content, that audio into blog post, into post on Facebook, et cetera. You're going to see all of this start to roll out in the next 30 days. And for those of you that are BSP clients, and especially our done-for-you clients that come to our 3-day events, et cetera, I'm going to reveal everything that we're doing. I'm going to show you what's working, what's not working, and help you to experience the same success if you want our help and support in doing it. So let me open it up to any questions that you have. Issa says it's frontwards to us, backwards to you. Good. Kim says this is great content. Love it, Kim. This is something you need. I think you know that. That's why you think it's great content. I love two says, I sure hope I'm doing everything the right way. I'm new at all this. Well, I don't know what that means, but I laid out the process for you. So in one sense, the only wrong thing you can be doing is nothing. And if you're making progress, and if you have your message, your offer on a great platform that is growing, and that, look, that has to be based on a lot of different things. Like, I like talking, as if you didn't know, right? I like being in front of a podcast audience or radio audience. I've never really done a lot of live stuff. I've done some TV and that kind of thing, but that hasn't always been my thing. But I'm going to do video because Facebook loves video, YouTube loves video, and I want to get in front of that video audience. So I'm going to do video too and grow my platform there, as well as, blog posts, etc. Kim says, I'm liking the process, or I'm lacking the process. Gotcha. The process is the sales process. We can talk more about that, but as I said, with us, the process is sending people through our funnel so they opt in, they fill out an application form, and then they go into a one-on-one call. Sounds simple. It is. Again, doesn't make it easy. The call is structured. The application is structured a certain way. We have metrics in place for all of the different steps. So all of this is important. Isa says, I'm digging my ghostwriter. I just got off the phone with him. Awesome. So glad to hear that, Isa. I'm not sure who it is. Is it Matt? But we have a lot of great ghostwriters, mainly female ghostwriters. But we've got a couple real rock star guys. Joanna, so should I start with a podcast or something else? Joanna, you have to determine that for yourself. I resisted it for a long time. But, if you like to talk, and you like to interview people, you can do an interview show. I am not going to do an interview show. I'm going to do exactly what I just did on Facebook Live in 10 or 12 minutes. I am going to share a really cool piece of content. I'm going to talk. I am not going to bring other people on the show. I'm going to keep it short, and I'm going to do 5 episodes a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 5 episodes a week that I'm going to do, with the focus being me giving content, great content, to people that are interested in publishing a book, promoting it to bestseller, and then profiting from it through all the ways we teach. So that's my focus. If you like the podcast focus, then I highly recommend it. We are in the go days of social media still. And this is an opportunity with a podcast or some other element to really get in front and create your audience and curate an amazing platform. So Kim says, so proposal and process are missing for me at this point. Yes. Your first step, Kim, because I know your situation, is you've got to nail down your proposal. What is it you're offering, and who is it that you serve? You've got to figure that out first and foremost, right? You've got to nail that down. If you don't know what problems you're solving, and I know you can solve a lot of problems, and so that's part of the situation. You've just got to decide at some point, this is a big problem in this audience, and I have the magic touch to solve that problem. You may be able to solve 18 other problems too, but I want you to focus. This is the problem that I'm going to go after. This is the problem that I'm going to solve. And then from there, we start to look at how to message your process, and then how to message your proposal, and then platform, and then the process to actually bring customers in, the sales process itself. So Isa says, yes, it's Matt. Kim says, I love Matt. That's cool. I think I need help figuring that out. Well, we'll have some one-on-one time at the event you're going to be coming to help figure that stuff out. So absolutely. Deborah, hey, Deborah, what is your advice for more introverted people? Great question. Who are more comfortable communicating through their writing than more large group arenas, where you have to speak in front of an audience and think quickly on your feet. Deborah, love that question. So absolutely. I don't know if you have a blog that you are contributing to constantly and regularly, but if your preferred mode of communicating to a platform is via writing, perfect. No problem with that. I don't think you were on my my training where I talked about Bill Stack, which might have been, I know you became a client at the last event that I did just a couple weeks ago. I think I shared about Bill, but Bill is similar to you in a lot of ways. He prefers to communicate in writing. So, we've helped him get some podcasts and various other things, but he doesn't do any of that stuff anymore. All he wants to do is write. So here's what he does. Number one, what he should do, he doesn't do this. You should do this, though, is you need your own platform and your own blog where you're communicating on a daily basis your thoughts. Number two, you should be communicating these things or elements of these things on social media also. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. You can communicate with the written word. You don't have to do a Facebook Live. You don't have to, do a podcast or anything. Communicate on your social media with the written word. And then number three is you should be a guest blogger on other people's blogs as well. So one of the things that Bill did, and Bill does on a regular basis now, is a couple things. Number one, he writes guest articles for everything from Reader's Digest to Jim Cramer's The Street. Bill is a financial advisor. To U.S. News and World Report, who he's been featured on a couple of different times. Now there's there's a national magazine that focuses on financial services only. They're one of only 8 FINRA-approved magazine sources. And Bill is actually a paid contributor to that magazine. So they actually pay him monthly to write his article, of which he also, of course, markets himself, his book, his stuff. So if you want to use a written word, great way to do it, but you need those 3 things, right? You need your own blog that you are contributing to constantly. You should use your written word in conjunction with social media. And number 3, you should be a guest blogger on other high impact or write guest articles on other high impact that reach a big audience, whether it's magazines, periodicals, etc. So hopefully that makes sense. You do not have to do a podcast. You do not have to do video. You don't have to do any of those things, but you do need to use your gift, and you got to be persistent and consistent. Look at Dave. Daily show, I think it's up to 3 hours a day now. The guy could retire many times over, but this is his platform. This is how he reaches his audience, and it has only grown and expanded. So you can do the same thing. Joanna says, can your blog be the Facebook page I have? Then I can repurpose it into YouTube and such. Send emails with a portion, then have the link that goes to the Facebook page. Everyone says blog, and I say where, how. So, yeah, the short answer, Joanna, is you can do it any way you want, but don't get confused or don't overcomplicate this idea of a blog. A blog is nothing more than your website where you're featuring your content on a everyday basis. Would you write an everyday blog post on Facebook? Probably not. I don't know that I've seen a lot of people do that, but what some people do is they'll write excerpts. They'll take excerpts from their blog. So I like your idea to repurpose, but I would say you write your key post on your own website, right? Where it's keyword rich. It has a call to action. It has next steps that people can take. And then you can take excerpts from that and repurpose that for Facebook, for LinkedIn, for Twitter, etc. Does that make sense? So don't overcomplicate what a blog is. Just create a website and start, producing content on that site. Gibson says, how do you get to be a guest blogger? Some hints, please. So you reach out to them. First of all, you have great content. If you're already a best-selling author, then that's going to give you credibility. But it's the same way that you get on a radio show, you get on a TV show, you get on a podcast. You show that you have credibility, and when you're a best-selling author, you have that. You then show, your other content in places, and then you reach out to them. That's all that Bill has done. The other thing that Bill has done is he's used Haro. I'll type that in the chat box. Haro is help a reporter out. I'll send that to everyone. It's help a reporter So Harrow every single day posts dozens and dozens of media opportunities for you. And what Bill does is he just looks for the media opportunities that are a fit for him, that are more about articles and things of that nature. And then he reaches out to them and says, hey, I could write an article on this. I can write on this subject, this subject, this subject, or I'm a best-selling author, on this particular subject. And he reaches out to them, and then they reach out back. If you do this consistently, then you'll get some great opportunities. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's some good stuff. Good questions. This is it. Proposal, platform, process. I don't care what your business is. I don't care what it is you do. If you're selling something, if you want to make an income and an impact, then you need all three of these pieces in place. You need to nail down what your offer is, which is your proposal. You need to have a platform that ideally is growing, and you can do it for free with a podcast or with, Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, social media, but you need to present your content on a continual basis so you grow your platform, and then you want to take them off the platform into your world and your process, and that might be like how we do it, application to strategy session, one-on-one call with one of our author development coaches, to here's what our offer is. Would you like help? Would you not like help? So you need all of these pieces in place in one form or fashion to be successful. So any other questions? If not, then we will call it. This has all been recorded for your viewing pleasure. And now next week I am not going to do a live next week because I'm actually speaking at Funnel Hacking, Russell Brunson's event. I'm doing a roundtable, so I'll be there all week next week. I'm taking the red eye out Monday night. So no call next week. First time in probably 2 months that we haven't had a call. But the following week we will have a call, and I'll be sharing some of the things that happened in ClickFunnels and stuff that I learned. So you guys are great. Thanks for being on with me. Talk to you soon.